my top 3 tips for taking care of your gut microbiome. My first tip is fiber. And so fiber is really important because it's your gut microbiome's predominant fuel source. And when we don't get enough fiber, bacteria have to find fuel source from other places, which can often have negative impacts on our health. Most North Americans don't get enough fiber. In fact, we usually get around 11 to 14 grams a day when the recommendation is 25 to 38 grams. And so there's a big gap there we can fill. In terms of getting adequate fiber, I like to encourage my patients to get half a plate of vegetables at lunch and supper every day, choose 2 to 3 pieces of fruit every day, predominantly choose whole grains, and then try to choose plant-based proteins to help enhance fiber intake and reduce intake of red and processed meats. My second tip is around variety, and so I like to say that your gut microbes are picky eaters. Different bacteria like to snack on different fibers, and so getting in a different variety helps to fuel a more diverse population of bacteria in your gut. When it comes to variety, I like to set the target of 30 different plant-based foods a week. A patient can very easily make a list and jot them down and keep track of how close they get to 30 different plant-based foods. Research has shown that patients that consume more than 30 different plant-based foods a week have better microbial composition than those that consume less than 10. And so in terms of getting variety in, just simply create a list. It could be something like strawberries and blueberries and spinach and flax in my smoothie. And then maybe my morning snack would be yogurt and fruit, something like a banana. Maybe for lunch I have a salad with carrots and cucumbers and peppers and radish. And for supper I have a stir fry with zucchini and onions and garlic and bok choy. So hitting 30 isn't really that unrealistic for people, although the number sounds big. It can be really easy if you just put some thought into it. My last tip is actually around getting people back to cooking in the kitchen. And by preparing more foods at home, we're inherently going to reduce our intake of ultra-processed foods and a lot of times our intake of red and processed meats. So in terms of cooking at home, I like patients to focus on a balanced plate because it's a really simple way to kind of get your fiber, get your variety, and reduce your intake of ultra-processed foods. So in terms of a balanced plate, I like my patients to get half their plate of vegetables or fruit, a quarter of their plate of whole grains to again up that fiber intake, and about a quarter of your plate of proteins. And so a lot of times I like patients to focus a little bit more on plant-based proteins like pulses, tofu, and tempeh, as well as nuts and seeds to enhance their fiber intake and displace some of that intake of red and processed meats. I hope these tips help and take care of your gut microbiome.